All right, we are now live on Facebook. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Good evening, guys. It's Bernard, and we are another episode of Conversations with Commodores. It's a Wednesday night, but it is a special night because we have our athletics director, Candice Lee, is our guest tonight. Candice, I know how busy you are these days, and we are so fortunate to have a few minutes of your time. So thank you for stopping by this evening to share a little goodwill and some updates with us.
Well, thank you for having me. And no, this is really important. It's really important. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, this is such a special time on campus. I mean, I don't even know where to start, but let's just start with the football program and the success and the school spirit that you see on campus each day. Give from your perspective, what do you see? What makes you so happy and joyful to come to work and be around everybody these days at school?
And oh, it's gosh, I could name any number of things because it's just been incredible. But I think what's probably been most gratifying, because having the opportunity to work with Clark and see our student athletes and work with our staff every day. I understand, right? And many of us understand what he's been doing. We understand how hard it is to build. It's so great to see the results, um, the external results that allow people to celebrate it because it's been trending. We've been working hard to get to this place, and I'm really clear, and so is Clark, that this is not the end game, right? This is like we're continuing to build, and we all want building to look like this,
Mhm.
right? And most of the times it's like this. And so to just have this moment, knowing all the hard work that's been into it is so cool to just see the campus on fire. It's so great to get emails from students who are upset that they can't get in. But
Mhm.
that's an incredible problem to have, right? It's incredible to have sellouts already, right? It's incredible to have just the reaction and the response from the city. And I have just I'm trying really hard to like just savor it,
Mhm.
while not being distracted by it because we still have a lot of work to do. But I'm just happy for all of us, including our alums, because this everybody's been waiting on um, more things to celebrate.
Well, it may have been the most epic post-game celebration in the history of college football when the world witnessed our goalposts not just being escorted, well, actually they were police escorted down Broadway,
Yeah, yeah.
get dumped into the Cumberland, and then the fire department retrieves it. I mean, that was as epic. That may have been the best check you've had to write in your tenure.
That's I care about fiscal responsibility, but I can tell you, I did not care in that moment, not at all. It was incredible. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Candace, I was at the Texas game a few weeks ago and a few
Mhm.
observations. That was the most electric stadium I've been in for a Vanderbilt home game and since I followed the program in the 80s. Awesome. Just incredible. We need to lessen the amount of burnt orange and but I know we're working on that.
Right.
The student section was over full 30 minutes
Yes.
before kickoff.
Hmm.
That's not something I've ever seen. But here's the telling thing that I have observed, and I've talked to many football alums. Not only did the team expect to win that game, but they were, and I'm not going to use the words that I've heard and used in the past, but they were pretty PO'd that they did not win that game. And to me, that's a change in culture and mindset that Clark's been working on so hard for 4 years.
Yeah, I think I agreed. I agree. And I would say, so just a couple things in response. I go back to when we went to Missouri earlier this year and we lost the Missouri game in double overtime. And just I was reflecting on it with my husband after the fact, just watching our kids. They went to Missouri to win that game.
Mhm.
And they were crushed,
Mhm.
right? They were crushed. I mean, I literally I stood outside the locker room after the press conference and I watched every single student athlete and coach
Mhm.
and staff member come out of that locker room, and it was different. It was different. And you're right, there is an expectation, right? Not only do they expect to win, they have prepared to win, right? They feel that they're capable to win. They have done what is necessary to put themselves in position to compete, which is what we all want,
Hmm.
right? That's what everybody wants. And your point about the Texas game, I want to like shout out to our marketing team because our marketing team, we have challenged, we've been challenging ourselves to elevate that game day experience.
Hmm.
And there's a lot that we still like we're working on a lot of things, but they deserve a lot of credit. They deserve a lot of credit because they are working very hard to change the environment. And I appreciate you acknowledging that because they're working very hard on
Oh my gosh, it was a party from the
it.
jump. And the in stadium DJ is on point. He
Hmm.
he really
He
is.
is.
Um, Candace, I want to talk just briefly about Diego for just a second.
Hmm.
You've played basketball at the highest level collegiately. I played at Vanderbilt as well. We've been around sports our whole lives. I
Hmm.
have never seen an athlete as confident as he's a Pied Piper. The
Hmm.
guys just, and you know this better than we do. You're in Magoogan, you're in the locker room at times and in the clubhouse. What has his impact been, not just on the football program, but on the athletics department, frankly?
And I would say the university, right? I
Yeah.
would even go further. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting because I certainly had heard of Diego prior to him coming here. I watched him when he played, at Auburn last year, and certainly knew of him. But when he got to campus, I knew he moved differently by just the way that I met him. I was in the hallway, and he walked up to me and introduced himself, and was very forward and hello, Dr. Lee, I'm Diego Pavia.
Mhm.
And just carried himself in a way that I knew he was different
Mhm.
anyway. And then you watch him in practice, and you kind of watch the way that his teammates react to him and respond to him. I mean, we all know as athletes, like it is certainly it's important that you're physically prepared, but here and here
Mhm.
make a huge difference.
Mhm.
And he's somebody that you want to be in the foxhole with because
Oh,
that
100%.
young man believes
Mhm.
he is going to win.
Mhm.
He made, he came out of the locker room came out of the locker room under the field for the Virginia Tech game, and it was just like he walks by, he's like, "We're good. All I do is win." And it's just such a, I think there's some real lessons there for everybody, right? This believability
Mhm.
matters so much,
Mhm.
right? And getting people to follow you and getting people to go to war with you. And that's one of the things I love about this program. This team, it's not just, I think you can look at us and say, oh man, that we're outsmarting people and we're prepared and we're being crafty, but we're strong and we're pushing people around. We're not getting pushed around. And we're like, it's just so many things that I think all of us are very,
Yeah.
very proud of that we believe represent who we are as Vanderbilt
Yeah.
athletes, right? Who we are as Commodores. And Diego just seems to embody that very well. And I think Clark deserves all the credit, of course,
Mhm.
right, for being humble and confident enough to surround himself with people who are making us better,
Mhm.
with having this vision and then putting the people in place who can execute it, with going out and getting Diego as well as our whole roster, right? I mean, we've been able to secure some great talent, develop some great talent, but they're great people too.
Mhm.
We talked earlier about that, Bernard, like also just the high character of these kids. Like it's people that as alums, we're really proud represent our school.
Mhm.
And that feels great.
It does. And Candace, when we see the first college football playoff poll come out
Hmm.
and everybody is mad, we're not
Hmm.
in that top 25 or even in that top
Right.
22. We're in
Yep.
the AP poll, but
Yep.
we're still in the national narrative because
Yes.
this team has a chance to do something no Vanderbilt football team has ever done. They win out, they win 10 games. They win
Yep.
10 games, That's a high mark. A 10-3 season would be fabulous. It's
Yeah.
fabulous where we are right now, but
Yep.
I know this
Yep.
team has more to accomplish. Look at
Absolutely.
look at the post-game celebrations. This team, you cannot convince me otherwise that the members of this team don't love each other, respect each other. It's
Mhm.
just they're a team. It's not a
They
group of
are a team.
individuals. And I
Yeah,
know you see that.
it's been incredible to see that, Bernard. Like just the care and the respect. And you know, right, we know this as athletes, like good teammates know how to challenge each other,
Mhm.
support each other, love each other through, hold each other accountable. I mean, the you cannot manufacture what you feel in that locker room and what you see. You can't manufacture that. That is real, that's sincere, and it's pretty cool to watch the world notice and experience what we feel like we've been trying to build over time, you know, for quite some time. And so that's a pretty cool thing to share.
It is. And for any of you who doubt this, what we're saying right now, go find the video where Big Glow steps in front of Pavia when some Auburn knuckleheads are trying to start some mess after the game. Go watch that.
Mhm.
That tells you all you
Mhm.
need to know. And by the way,
Mhm.
Big Glow, that's a fantastic nickname for that
Yeah,
kid.
it's
I
fantastic.
love him. He's got an awesome personality and a pretty
He
good game
does.
to back it
He
up.
does. He
Um,
does.
Candice, we've got sellouts already announced for the next two home games. South Carolina homecoming this weekend, and then the
Mhm.
Orange Thanksgiving weekend. What does
Mhm.
that mean to the athletics department? What does that mean to you guys? And how do I score some tickets? Because I got people just killing me
I
for
know.
tickets, and I'm just
I
like,
know. I know. I got family members I didn't even know I had, you know. Come, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, I think certainly it feels great to have the stands full. You know, our goal is to have those stands full of black and gold. And and that is, you know, we're working very hard on that. And I think that these kids and our alums and everybody deserve for that stadium to be full. You know, that some of it has been obviously winning helps, right? We know that. We know that winning drives that. Um, Making sure that the game day experience is something that, you know, you say to yourself, like, I don't want to sit home and watch this on TV. Like, if I can get there, right, it is not to be missed. And so that, you know, that's part of what the facility upgrades are about too, right? Like you're trying to increase amenities, which are so important in a place like Nashville where everywhere else, like there is an elevated fan experience that people have come to enjoy and expect. And we should have that at Vanderbilt too,
yeah.
right? So it's like in every regard, why not us too?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
we're working very hard on that. So it feels great. It feels great to announce a sellout. And it'll feel even better when those sellouts will just it'll be all black and gold.
And what I'm also so looking forward to next season, I'm not looking
Mhm.
past this season,
Right.
when the south end zone's completed and that
Mm,
corner set of boxes are full
mm,
and the student
mhm.
section is on the other side of the end zone, that's going to be an extremely difficult place for a visiting team to succeed.
Yes, yes, it is. And I think I cannot wait. You know, just having even having the north end zone complete, it has
Hmm.
added such an incredible element, new element, and it has changed the feel of the stadium. And even with
Imagine.
one end enclosed, right? I know the other side's still under construction, but it kind of traps the sound and just
Mhm.
the experience is just um it's been incredible. It's been incredible, and so I can't wait. I'm really excited, and I think that people who have not seen it will be really excited too.
And if you haven't been and seen this, guys, the north end zone, the Marriott side of the basketball arena side, it's SRO. It's standing room only. You can't move around very well. Don't tell the fire department that, but it's very packed. But I want to shift because I know I only have you for a little bit of time, Candace. We've got homecoming coming up this weekend. We've got so
Hmm.
many just a lot of momentum, but I want to talk about NIL. I want to
Yes.
talk about the momentum that we have. It was just announced. One of our football alums, all pro Casey Hayward, stepped up with
Hmm.
just an incredible
Hmm.
NIL gift. But that's not just what it's about. It's not just the big gifts. I know that. That's a big part of it.
Sure.
But I
Sure.
want you to kind of share with us the vision or the need or what you need from the not just football alums, but
Yeah.
just anybody who wants to support the sports programs.
First I would say I really appreciate that you brought up Casey because Casey's generosity, that's just so incredibly impactful for us. And he deserves so much credit and I'm very appreciative. And you're right, like Casey's gift is transformational, but all support is transformational
Mhm,
because it all adds up to have an impact. And the truth of the matter is that NIL is so, for people who are not sure about it and it is transactional in nature, right? But the reality is that it has become part of the landscape. And
mhm,
at Vanderbilt, we're still focused on being transformational, but we've got to have the transaction to be able to get to that point.
mhm,
And that is the truth because the NIL piece is a part of recruiting. And with NIL support, we're able to, like Clark is still recruiting at a high level, and he's looking for, of course, elite athletes who want Vanderbilt, who fit who we are,
mhm,
right? But I don't want NIL to be a reason why somebody who checks every other box for us, I don't want that to be a reason why they don't come. Like
mhm,
to have the opportunity to come, like NIL allows us to build out the roster, right? And recruit and retain the student athletes that we all want
mhm.
so that we can continue this momentum that we have. And so the way it's set up now, right? And for the rest of this academic year, all NIL money has to come external. So if I have money falling out of my pocket right now, I can't use my money. I can't use Vanderbilt's money to support NIL.
Mhm.
So I am pleading for our alums and supporters to the extent that you can, to support what we're doing from an NIL standpoint. And people have already been so generous, and I really appreciate it. But it's like gifts of all size truly do matter. We have a collective Anchor Impact, and I mean we can. Earl Bennett is one of the people on our staff who is I know everybody here knows Earl Bennett, but Earl Bennett is one of the people on staff who's tasked with supporting our NIL efforts. And he works very closely with our collective. We have a great GM named Paul Grindstaff. We have resources who are ready to talk to you about how you can support. That support can come in the form of a one-time contribution or even better, a monthly subscription. And I look around and I say, like, people sometimes look at Vanderbilt and they think we can't compete. We have the resources to compete. And those resources include alumni who care deeply about what we do. Right. And so I am asking for alumni to support this. And I need you to know on behalf of Clark, on behalf of our department, we really, really appreciate. And it's not just Clark, right? It's basketball, it's Coach Corbin, it's like this is a part of Vanderbilt athletics today. And we love what we got going on right now. And if we want to sustain it, we need your help.
It is, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had along the following.
Hmm.
Well, what is my $100 or $200 a month going to do for the program? And my response is it's going to do a hell of a lot because it's a lot of
Especially,
people.
that's right. If we all do our part, I mean, we can ensure, right? We can ensure that Vanderbilt remains competitive. The world is changing. And NIL is part of the game, and like it does matter. So I appreciate you saying that, Bernard, because you know a lot of little bits add up to a lot.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
and we need, so it all matters. It all matters. It truly does. Like I cannot express enough how important it is that we have the NIL support that we need.
Mhm.
I cannot express enough. It is truly, right, a big component. It's not the only component, but it's a big component of the success that we're experiencing right now. Right? Again, it's so critical to recruiting and retention.
It is, you couldn't say it any more clearly than that, Candace. I'm not going to ask, I don't want to get into next
Mhm.
academic year and
Right.
that, because that'll be another conversation.
Totally
We're
different
talking
model. We
about
can talk about that on another one.
that's right.
Yeah.
By the way, Candace is coming back each week for the next. No,
Come
um,
back with an
we'll
update.
get her back from time to time. I got two more topics, and we'll cut you
Yeah,
free for
sure.
tonight. And for those of you living under a rock, I have Vanderbilt Athletics Director Candice Lee. She is a triple door, and just loves our program. She's doing an incredible job as the
Thank
leader
you.
of our athletics department. I could go on and on and on, but we've got a few things to be
Yeah.
respectful of her time. People are asking, give us, and this is a tough question to answer, but give
Okay.
us an approximate timetable for the different sports facilities, not just the three in the middle of campus, but any others that are being worked on. Can you kind of give us a timetable of construction, completion, things like that? And I'm not going to come back in a year and say, you told us what you currently know. Kind of give us an idea.
So of course the north end zone already open. South end zone will be open next fall, so next August, in time for the 25 football season. Our golf project was just completed and was officially complete this summer. Baseball is our next,
Fabulous.
the golf project and the
Fabulous.
golf. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful and well deserved. We will start a baseball project. Our goal is to put a shovel in the ground at the end of this calendar year. We're just trying to work on, like, we've got design done. We're just
Mhm.
trying to figure out, we've got to operate around the central utility project that we have
Mhm.
going on right now. That,
Mhm.
if you see that big old hole that was what used to be our outdoor tennis courts,
Yeah.
or some of our outdoor tennis courts, that's the central utility project. That's not an athletics project, but it does connect to athletics
Mhm.
because it's going to power these new facilities
Mhm.
as well as a new residence hall. So we're having to work around the timing of that, but we have been approved officially for our baseball project for the first phase, which will be a building out in right field. It spectacular.
Mhm.
So end of the calendar year, is what we're tentatively scheduled to do with that. We have a tennis project that will begin next summer.
Mhm.
We're going to play volleyball in Memorial. We were
Mhm.
considering we considered all kinds of alternatives with volleyball, and determined that Memorial is going to give us the best chance to really build a full, like, to do a full build out for volleyball, so they have everything that they need.
Mhm.
The thought behind all these Vandy United projects is to make movement as efficient as possible for all of our student athletes. So I'll use as an example the North End Zone, which also serves as the basketball practice facility. And we're really thoughtful in how it's laid out so that
Mhm.
once a basketball player leaves that facility, I mean, really all they have to do is just go to class. I mean, everything. The only thing they can't really do is sleep there, and they probably will figure out a way to sleep there. But I mean, they like just trying to think. We all know at Vanderbilt
Mhm.
how challenging, right? Like you've got to be at your best in the classroom, right? And
Mhm.
then be at your best within your respective sports. So how do we conserve as much time as possible and
Mhm.
make things as efficient as possible? And so if you get a chance to tour the North End Zone facility, I encourage you to, because it's so thoughtful how it's laid out. And that's what we're trying to do with all of these projects. So, that's what we have on tap right now. There's certainly a lot in design, and ultimately we want to touch every single program within our portfolio, but that's what's on deck next.
It's all just so exciting. If I'm a middle schooler or junior high athlete and academics drive my ambitions along with sports, how can you not consider our school? It just would be
Absolutely.
prime time. Now, we just kicked off
Absolutely.
basketball season with a historic first games, both teams scoring over 100 points. The
Yeah.
men's team set all kind of either school, conference, or maybe even close to national records. But how
Hmm.
exciting was it the other night
Hmm.
for both schools to do so well? And I realize it's very early, but the
Sure.
athleticism, my gosh, for both teams was incredible for us.
Yeah. It felt so good. It was cool that both teams opened up on the same day.
I
And
love
so
that.
the women played at 11 o'clock and did our annual education
Mhm.
day game. And so I thought that was very special. We played Lipscomb, right? So another local school in front of
Mhm.
25 elementary schools, right?
Mhm.
So the idea that you're building affinity, right, early on. And for those young people to be able to watch our team, I mean, our team, they look great. They look great. Shay Ralph is in her fourth year, and
Mhm.
last year taking us to the NCAA tournament after missing it for a decade.
Mhm.
And I think she is poised to do great things. And for the Mark Byington era to begin the same day, and I think you're right, all of those records. I mean, we scored all those points and did all that stuff and had one turnover.
One turn.
And that, I mean, that's tremendous. That is tremendous. And that was many people's first time to see that team because the team is virtually all new.
Mhm.
And it was, the pace of play was great, the energy was great. It was wonderful. It was a little warm and memorial. and, and so don't ask me any questions about that. I'm working on it, but I think that basketball season is going to be a lot of fun.
I think that the momentum that not just the football program has right now, but I'll just say the athletics department, and of course supported by Chancellor Deermeyer. I know that
Absolutely.
you and he work very closely together. You travel the country
Yes.
promoting not just sports, of course, but the university as a whole. And I cannot, one, I can't thank you enough for the incredible job you do representing all of us. I know
Thank
you
you.
love it. It's passion for you. Clearly, if you haven't gotten a hug from Candace at a tailgate party, then you haven't seen Candace at a tailgate party. But that just epitomizes what you're all about. So, Candace, thank you for always doing what you do and for being available tonight. I know you travel all the time,
Of course.
but I just thought it was so important to kind of highlight a lot of the things that just needed to be said. And coming from you,
No,
you're the best.
Bernard, I appreciate you so much. And I just, man, this is such an awesome time for all of us.
Mhm.
And I tell our student athletes all the time, that it is the professional privilege of my life to get to be the athletic director at Vanderbilt because I know so deeply, like how much we all have for this place, but also I believe so deeply in what we can be. And it's not just the kids that are here right now. It's for all of us that have like invested the blood, sweat, and tears.
Mhm.
Right. And we all had this like finite period of time. And some people got a new facility and some people didn't. And some people played and some people didn't. And some people liked their coach and some people didn't. But the thread is that we're all Commodores and it's our home. And if
Mhm.
you haven't been back for a while, it's still your home. Even if it
Mhm.
looks different, it's your home. And I want everybody to know that they are welcome. And all I'm trying to do is work with our chancellor and work with everybody else to just make it the best it could be for all of us. So I appreciate you, Bernard, because I know you care so deeply too. And so I can't wait to see you on Saturday. I hope I see as many alums as possible. And I hope we continue to make each other proud, right? It's a special, special place and we deserve it.
It is, and you summed it up just beautifully, and I promised you I'd get you out of here on time. So
Thank you.
Candace, as always, anchor down.
Take it down. And thank you very much.